Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. Coming up, we visit a cafe in Brigg, which is proving to be a lifeline to those who use it. And we head to Grimsby Minster for the weekly reflections. And my guest tonight is James Russell from the Hull Independent Cinema to talk about the awards they've won and the work they do. Welcome to Estuary TV News. I'm Hugh Riches. Now it's time for the news headlines.
A man has been charged with murder after the death of a man in Grimsby. Detectives attended the incident on Churchill Way on Friday, charging 19-year-old Michael David Preston of Durban Road in Grimsby with the murder of 29-year-old Dean Southwick and the attempted murder of an 18-year-old Grimsby man who was left with serious injuries. He appeared at Grimsby and Cleethorpes Magistrates Court today and is now due to appear at Hull Crown Court via video link. Users of a health and social care service in Grimsby can now get hands-on experience in retail. The Grimsby Garden Centre has been taken over by Navigo, who are working with staff during the transition period. The cafe and garden centre will continue to operate as normal.
It's got massive potential. I mean, for those people in North East Lincolnshire that use Grimsby Garden Centre anyway, you know, they'll know that it's got a fantastic restaurant with a wonderful reputation, a lovely nursery element, garden centre with so much space for us to be able to add to what the previous owners have done. Our intention is to turn this into a family-friendly environment so that everybody can come here and hopefully stay here for the day rather than just pop in.
The community cafe in Brigg is a lifeline for many. That's according to volunteers who man the service. The group uses the facility to develop their skills through courses and weekly meetups to tackle social isolation. Janet Flanagan, a volunteer at the centre, says everyone is welcome.
It sort of gets people together, and also if you're lonely sort of thing, you soon make new friends, and we're quite a friendly crowd and everyone's made welcome. And I think some people it's the highlight of the week. I know it sounds silly, but it gives some people, well everyone really, something to focus on that day. Everybody contributes. We want everybody to feel it's their group.
Well, if you have a story, you can give us a ring on 01472 315561, or you can contact us through social media, Facebook or Twitter at Estuary TV. Until next time, goodbye.
All humans feel that they need to belong. Man is a social animal, but for some who are socially isolated, it can be a struggle. A year ago in Brigg, a community cafe was set up to offer a lifeline to people. We popped along for a cuppa to find out how those who use the service have benefited.
Well, it started with Macmillan Coffee Morning, and it was a success, and a group of us thought, well, we'd like to carry on. So we do IT, we do games, we have a health trainer come, also we have various speakers.
I just think it's nice for people to have somewhere to go to mix. I've made lots of new friends and I'm sure other people have too.
Well, the feedback that we've gotten, we've quite regularly asked for consultations and feedback on what they're thinking, and a lot of them are saying that it's giving them new friendships, it gets them out of home, into the community more, and they all look forward to coming here every week, and the amount of people that's coming is increasing. There's been a lot of publicity out within the community, and word of mouth, everything's very positive, so they've done really well.
It sort of gets people together, and also if you're lonely sort of thing, you soon make new friends, and we're quite a friendly crowd and everyone's made welcome. I think some people it's the highlight of the week. I know it sounds silly, but it gives some people, well everyone really, something to focus on that day.
Well, I've not been in Brigg long, and when I came I didn't know anybody, so I saw the coffee morning advertised, came in and I've made friends. Just coming in here, it's nice to come in on a Tuesday morning, have a chat with everybody and have a coffee and the nice cakes obviously.
It's just somewhere where everybody can meet up and catch up with local news and find out what's going on. It's that sort of thing really.
We're right on the way to go into the shops. Most people, most ladies go to the shops on a Tuesday morning. They get the bus, we'll pop off here and come in, have a coffee and just find out what we do and what we like. Sometimes we have guest speakers, cooks doing things, showing us how to eat healthily. It's just a community cafe, and that says it all, really.
It's just a nice 2 hours out to visit all these different people and get on so well with them, like, you know what I mean, sort of thing, and I really enjoy being with them.
It's handy, no driving, 2 minutes down the road, and the people that come are real friendly. It's really nice.
We'd appreciate any help, and also if anyone feels that they can't come on their own, sometimes we can get somebody to accompany them and welcome them when they come. Nobody's to feel that they're not welcome. Everybody's welcome.
Come along and give us a try. Come and have a cup of tea and a piece of cake, and I'm sure you'll come back again.
You're watching Estuary News. Still to come, it's time for another weekly reflections, and we'll have all the latest sports news and results. Hull Independent Cinema has achieved national recognition by picking up 3 prizes from the Film Society Awards. Here to talk about that success is James Russell, Chairman of the Trustees. James, thank you very much for coming along.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
First of all, what are these awards? What have you won?
Well, we've won 3 awards at the Film Society of the Year Awards, which are organised by Cinema for All, which is the national umbrella organisation for community cinemas and film societies across the UK. We applied for 3 awards, Best Programming, Best Marketing and Best New Society or Cinema. And unfortunately we didn't actually win any of them outright, but we did come home with 2 commendations and a distinction.
That's still a pat on the back, isn't it?
Absolutely. Essentially it's recognition from our peers that what we're doing is amongst the best in the country, which is absolutely fantastic.
You said one of those awards was for the Best New Cinema. How old are you?
Well, we actually did our first screening back in July last year, so we're just over a year old, really.
And what is the difference between independent cinema and the multiplexes we're all used to going to? What do you show that you can't find elsewhere?
Our main remit is to show the best of British independent, foreign language and art cinema, and also documentary film and short film as well. And you won't find this content in the mainstream cinemas. There are 4 multiplex cinemas in Hull. They have 35 screens between them, which is well above the national average. They do a great job, but they all show the mainstream Hollywood stuff. We show stuff from other countries. We show the kind of stuff that doesn't get on those screens. And we're very proud that pretty much everything that we show has not been seen in a cinema in Hull before.
Sounds fantastic, sort of thing I like, but there's not necessarily a massive market for people wanting to go and watch black and white films in Romanian.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Right.
Last week we showed a black and white film in Persian, actually, which is a vampire movie, a vampire western, in fact. I think pretty much the first of its genre.
I love it already. You've sold it. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. And we had a packed crowd. People do love this kind of film. We have a fairly regular, loyal audience. And they do come to us and say, thank you very much for showing this film. I would have had to go to York or Sheffield or Leeds or even further afield to have seen this otherwise. So there is a crowd there. We know that it's maybe not big enough in its own right now to sustain a full-time permanent venue, which is our long-term goal. So our job is to grow that audience, develop it, bring this kind of fantastic film to new people.
What is it about cinema coming along to an actual screening that's different from, because all these things can be available in various media. People can sit there solitary, alone, lonely in their bedrooms and watch YouTube or whatever it is. Why is it important to have the cinema experience to watch these films?
It's a really good point, because actually everything we show in home format, because we don't actually have a cinema of our own. We're showing in community venues around the city.
Right.
So it's really important for us to bring a different experience to it. So we show short films before the main feature. Sometimes we're fortunate enough to get the filmmakers or talent from the film to come along in person and do a Q&A or appear via Skype to do a Q&A and talk about the film. We just had Hull Film Festival last week, where Sean McAllister, the Hull filmmaker,
yes,
and Chris Hees, the Hull filmmaker, were both appearing at 2 of our shows. but it's the sense of community. It's seeing things on a big screen. Yeah, you might have a really big telly at home, but seeing it in a big screen in a darkened room with other people, that sense of communal participation and enjoyment of the film, of the art, that's something that you can't get by streaming or watching on disc at home.
What do these awards mean? What does it, do they make a difference to your future?
Oh, hugely. We're inordinately proud to have even been shortlisted. The competition was absolutely amazing. The award ceremony was the highlight of the Cinema for All National Conference, and I was fortunate enough to be there for the whole weekend. And I spoke to some of the people who were shortlisted, some of the people who weren't, and they're all doing fantastic things that we need to learn from and essentially steal their ideas. But it's a great
creative
community.
sharing. It's not stealing. It's
Yes, creative sharing. That's a good way of putting it. But it's a great community. So to have been recognised by those people who were already doing some of the things that we want to be doing is such a great honour. It's also got us quite a bit of press attention.
Good.
I'm here, and I think it's increased our visibility, increased our credibility,
Yes.
and it's all part of the long-term process of building the organisation.
And drumming up that audience, of course.
Exactly. Yes.
James, we'll talk more about this just after the break. Join me then when the Reverend Catherine Price will bring us today's reflections, and we'll have all the latest local sports news and results. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary TV News. Still to come, we head to Grimsby Minster for reflections, and we'll bring you all the latest local news, sports and results. Still with me talking about the success of the Hull Independent Cinema is James Russell, Chairman of the Trustees. James, those awards sound absolutely fantastic. The future of the cinema is secured, I take it?
Well, we're doing fine financially. We've recently achieved registered charity status, which is another excellent brick in that wall of, if you like, of building the organisation. So we're doing pretty well at the moment, and we're currently actually programming our next set of films. So from November to February, we're just dotting the I's and crossing the T's on some licenses and venues there.
What have you got coming up?
Well, we've got some films coming up in November. We're not sure exactly when yet, as I say, but we'll finalise that soon. We've got films like Slow West, which stars Michael Fassbender. It's a western, but it's based on a family from Scotland who have gone over to the States. We've got documentaries like The Wolf Pack, which is about an American family who the children were essentially confined to their home. They never actually went outside. They learned everything they knew about the outside world from films, which is a bit self-referential, I guess.
Oh, it's a bit navel-gazing, that one, isn't it?
Absolutely. But it's absolutely amazing, and we're going to be showing that soon. And as I say, we're just finalising the details, which people can find out the information about on our website, which is hullindependentcinema.com, or you can follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and we're now on Instagram, actually, as of this weekend.
And as you say, you're a bit mobile at the moment, itinerant. Which venues will you be using in the immediate future?
We're currently using Union Mashup on Prince's Avenue, Hull Truck Theatre in the town centre, Fruit in the town centre, and we're also very pleased to be bringing in a new venue for this programme, which is the Trinity House Theatre. That's at Trinity House Academy School on George Street. It's actually where Hull Screen, Hull's former independent cinema, used to be based for a few years. So it's a great venue for film, and it's still got all the original upholstered plush seating in there.
Wonderful.
It's absolutely brilliant.
Yep. If people want to get involved and support the cinema in a more sort of permanent and formal way, can they get in touch through the same website and they can do that?
Yes, and we have a membership scheme actually as well, so people can join as members. It costs £15 a year, but for that you get £1 off tickets. Our ticket prices, we try and keep them as low as possible, so they're £5 normally, but if you're a member they're £4, and at the moment we show about 40 to 50 screenings a year that qualify for that discount, so £15 a year could save you 50 quid.
Do you get popcorn?
You can bring your own.
Bring your own popcorn. Okay. James, thank you very much for coming along. Good luck with all those screenings and congratulations on this.
Thank you very much.
Now it's time for the weekly reflections, and this week it's the Reverend Catherine Price from the Team Parish of Grimsby.
This Sunday was our Harvest Festival here in Grimsby Minster. Harvest remains one of the most popular festivals of the church's year, even though it's not distinctively Christian, and the agricultural harvest is now remote from most people's lives. This year is probably the first time I've actually seen the harvest. And I've had a bit of a harvest of my own from the apple and pear trees in my garden. Last year, I didn't know what to do with them, so most of them just fell to the ground and rotted. Jesus often uses images and stories from agricultural life to talk about our human situation. How many people in our society are left to rot, their talents never nurtured, their skills never harvested? As well as the traditional harvest supper, part of our harvest celebration this year was a protest event, raising awareness of poverty and the impact of austerity measures on the most vulnerable in this community, the people who are too often ignored, abandoned, thrown prematurely on the compost heap of life. I heard the other day that it costs more to send an adult to prison than to send a child to Eton. Farmers know that a good harvest requires an investment of time and effort, starting at the very beginning with the seed and the soil. And they know that it's a risk. Sometimes that effort won't pay off. Are we prepared to take the risk of investing in every member of our society from the very beginning of their lives? Or would we rather leave them to rot?
I want to see Grimsby put on the map.
Extraordinary qualities, unmatched in anywhere else in Britain.
We need to act with one voice.
I was absolutely shocked, I'll tell you the truth.
More police officer hours spent on patrol preventing crimes from happening.
Joining me on the sofa now is Erica Barker to look through some of the weekend's news stories. Erica, lots been going on, a bit of a sad one to start with.
Yeah, sad one to start with. So in the Hull Daily Mail today, Diane Gran at 99, left alone in the cold and dark. This is Hicker Home Care was paid to send carers to visit Kathleen Robinson, who was 99, 4 times a day at her home in Stoneferry. However, granddaughter Lynn Dove discovered Mrs Robinson lying in the dark without medication for her pain after a tea time call was missed. Subsequently, Mrs Robinson died on Thursday, a week after this incident, and Hull City Council is investigating.
I suppose their question is, did she die as a consequence of the failure of the care service?
Yes.
Awful story, 99,
Awful story.
Irritating.
No, awful story indeed. I'm going to move on to another one in the Hull Daily Mail. A Humberside police vehicle was found in a disabled bay outside BHS in Hull City Centre, and Humberside police have now apologised and said the officer has been given words of advice. So this comes after Jane Foster and her disabled uncle were struggling to find somewhere to park.
I suspect they might have been quite stern words of advice.
I reckon, possibly. Because, I mean, how many, disabled parking bays are there? There aren't a great deal, are they? On here it says there are around 5 or 6 in that area. But it is hard to find a space, isn't it?
Well,
and even though you can park on yellow lines, I think, in the city centre, that's obviously very difficult to do without blocking something that's, important, isn't it? So disabled spaces are vital.
And presumably he wasn't parking there in an emergency, as it were, to go and prevent a crime. It was just in the course of his transport.
No, it doesn't say that. But yeah, no, he might be in trouble, that officer, for parking in that space.
Yes, there might be a difficult quarter of an hour, as they say.
Possibly. Well, Hugh, do you watch the X Factor?
I do. I have no choice. It's compulsory in my house.
Is it really?
It is.
Okay, it is in mine as well, for me. I love it. Charlie Beard from Hull was in the X Factor. She got knocked out of the with the 6-seat challenge that happened. A lot of people disagreed with it. A lot of people was up in arms about it. But anyway, it's not the end of Charlie's career. It's only the beginning, because she has sung in front of U2 legend Bono. And he asked her to sing an awards event in Monte Carlo. So it shows you that the X Factor is not the end, it's only the beginning.
Well, and if Bono's running her career, then she will be compulsorily imposed upon all of our computers, won't she?
Well, I don't know about that. It's just invited her to sing there, but I'm sure it's one of many.
Did you see her X Factor performance?
Yeah, incredible.
It was good.
She's absolutely incredible. Incredible. A credit to Hull.
Okay, one more very quickly.
One more very quickly. Oh, this is just a about engineers have restored gas supplies to the majority of households in Laceby. So problems with gas there now. It did affect around 1,350 homes, but 250 homes are remaining. They will get sorted.
Erica, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all we have time for the news review, but it's now time for the sport.
Grimsby Town kept their unbeaten run going as they picked up a point from a goalless draw at Braintree Town on Saturday. Town boss Paul Hurst had been forced into making 2 first-half substitutions when both Josh Gowling and Gregor Robertson picked up injuries. And ultimately, neither side could manage to get on the scoreboard. Their next game will be against Halifax Town at Blundell Park tomorrow night. Scunthorpe United beat Oldham 4-2 away, with Kevin Van Veen saying he was delighted to score his second goal of the season and help contribute to the 3 points victory, their first win on their travels this campaign. With goals also from Gary McSheffrey, Tommy Rowe and Paddy Madden. They'll face Shrewsbury at home on Saturday. Great Coats United under-14s football team have recently received £250 in sponsorship money. It's from the Nottingham Building Society in Brigg. The money has helped the team purchase a new kit for the 15-16 season. And Hull City is on the lookout for new ball boys and girls for the remainder of the 2015-16 season, saying it's an exciting opportunity for young people to play a full part in the action on match days at the KC Stadium. Well, applicants must be currently aged between 14 and 18, and successful candidates will receive a full Tigers training kit and get to walk out in front of a crowd of thousands. Goodbye.
That's all for tonight. If you have a news story, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages, or email news@estuary.tv, or phone Grimsby 01472 3155553. Until tomorrow, good evening.
I want to see Grimsby put on the map.
Extraordinary qualities, unmatched in anywhere else in Britain.
We need to act with one voice.
I was absolutely shocked, I'll tell you the truth.
More police officer hours spent on patrol preventing crimes from happening.
Estuary TV weather, sponsored by Grimsby Institute for a brighter future.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. On Tuesday it'll be mainly dry, though again a few showers are likely. And despite the sunshine, it will feel quite cold with maximum temperatures of 14 degrees. On Wednesday it'll be mostly dry with some sunshine.
Estuary TV weather, sponsored by Grimsby Institute for a brighter future.